right, so can we just talk about the movie The Sister Act just for a second? I know. But I have not seen this movie since I was a little girl, and I actually got it confused with Sister Act Part 2 because I was expecting Lauren London to start singing and she didn't, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is the first one. This isn't the one that, I was thinking of. But anyway, so I'm watching it and I'm fast forwarding through the movie and I'm trying to, again, find Lauren London so I can... Is it Lauren London? Y'all know who I'm talking about. But anyways, I'm trying to get to where she's singing so I can, when she's laying on the bed and she's just like harmonizing, and I think she's writing in her journal or something like that. I don't know why that's calling to me, but that's the only part about Sister Act that I remember. But anyways, I was obviously called to watch this particular version of Sister Act and fast forward to this particular part. So we're at the part where Whoopi Goldberg, oh my gosh, Whoopi Goldberg is coming into the choir. She's showing them, like, you guys have it all backwards. The altos are on this, the sopranos are over here. Like, everyone's mixed up. Everyone needs to get to where they need to be. And more importantly, everyone needs to find their own voice and listen to the voice of others, right? In order to work well as a choir. So the next day, they start practicing, it's working out, everyone's harmonizing, they sound good, okay? It's tea. They sound good. And then come that Sunday, the choir comes and, they're singing and it sounds beautiful, the introduction. And then they go ahead and they spice it up. I mean, so much so that I'm over here in my bed watching the movie, clapping along and singing along to the captions as if they're like lyrics, right? So I'm like, dang, they are eating it up. Like, there's no one that can listen to this and not feel the urge to want to clap, to want to, jive with it. So anyways, then after that, they perform so well. People start literally walking in off the streets. Is that not what God wants? Come as you are, right? So people start walking in off the street. Yes, they look the way that they look, but they're coming to hear the music of the Lord. It doesn't matter how they look, right? So after this performance is done, Whoopi Goldberg goes and she's like being chastised by the Reverend Master, the head woman. I don't even know what her name is or her title, but anyways, the main nun, right? And she's like, this is blasphemous. You can't sit there and say the Lord of the word, or you can't sing about God in this tone. This isn't a casino. This isn't a theater. First of all, everything about the Catholic Church seems to be like a theater. Everything is very much structured. It's very much on cue. It's very much, child, that is not what Jesus preached about. That is not how did we get so far from that? And no shame to the Catholics, because I truly feel like their heart is in the right place, but it's the level, again, of structure and conformity that it seems to be the opposite of what I've picked up on in the Bible. Jesus is saying, again, what I've picked up on, Jesus is saying, again, come as you are. You're not perfect. You're not going to know everything. You're not going to do everything correctly. And you shouldn't be chastised for that messiness. Okay? You shouldn't have, you know what I mean? I feel like you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So anyways, she's chastising Whoopi Goldberg, and Whoopi is a real smart woman, because anybody else, especially me in my unhealed version, I would have been like, talking to me crazy, like, did you not hear what was going on? Is it not obvious to you that you're the problem here? But she didn't do that, She didn't do that. So the Reverend came in, or the head priest, or I don't know. Anyways, he came in and he's like complimenting the head nun as if it was her idea to implement this new version of music. And he's like, did you see the people walking in off the street? He is a man of God. He is a man of not ego. He is a man of spreading the message, not perfecting it and making it and dressing it up so that, it just looks better. He wants the message to be better. He wants the message to actually, get to the people that it needs to get to, regardless of what they look like, regardless of their background. And then Whoopi, she's so smart in this movie. It's inspiring, because she used that woman's ego against her. Right? So she goes and she tells her, or she tells the Reverend, the priest or whatever, Oh, and you know, she'll never tell you this, but she wants us out there on the streets. She wants us bringing the message of the Lord to the people out here in this community, in this neighborhood. And then the lady goes, but it's dangerous out there. Like, basically insinuating that these are a bunch of heathens, that they're beneath them, right? Meanwhile, these are the exact people that need your message. These are the exact people that need the Lord's message. But you're afraid to go out there and give it to them because you don't like the way that they look, you don't like the way that they act, you don't like the way that they handle themselves or the decisions that they make, as if you are holier than thou. Complete opposite of what God wants, right? So anyways, then they go out there and they're preaching and they're singing, they're cleaning up the community, people are joining in, young kids are coming, people are bringing their families. That is what God wants. That is what Jesus wants. He wants us to be connected. This is just like a hormone pimple and I keep popping it, but it's just not going away. I had a little pimple patch on there, but it is what it is. But yeah, God wants us to be connected. You said, when Whoopi said, not only find your voice, but listen to the voice of others. Same concept. I don't know. What do you guys think? Clock it. There's definitely going to be a head nun at every institution you go to, at work, at school, on the playground, in the club. There's always going to be someone that thinks that their ego is bigger than the message. And I think the way that Whoopi handled her by literally using her ego against her was chef's kiss. Like, it was so graceful. It was really graceful because she could have shamed her more. She could have made her feel even worse about herself. She could have pointed out her flaw in thinking. Like, again, the way that I would have reacted at my unhealed version. But she chose to alchemize that. She chose to take that same energy and turn it into love. And turn it into, instead of ego, she turned it into like admiration almost. Like, again, she used her own ego against her, but for the greater good. And I want to be like that. I want to be like Whoopi. Now I'm gonna like start studying this movie because it really is that good. Like, the message behind that, dang, I don't know. Again, you guys tell me what you think, but there's something to that. And maybe I'm not hitting it on completely because I'm only like an hour and 3 minutes into the movie, but I don't know. There's just something there.